Most people think the most powerful thing you can do in a conversation is say the right thing. They are wrong. The most powerful thing you can do is say almost nothing at all. There is a technique used by FBI interrogators, hostage negotiators, and the most dangerous conversationalists on the planet. It requires no aggression, no manipulation, no clever words. It requires only that you reflect. It is called the Interrogation Mirror. And after this video, you will never listen to another person the same way again. In the next 12 minutes, I am going to show you 5 layers of the Interrogation Mirror. The first 2 are techniques anyone can use tomorrow. The third is what separates amateurs from operators. The fourth is what therapists, detectives, and cult leaders all have in common and almost never talk about publicly. And the fifth is the reason I almost did not include this video at all. Stay until the end. What you learn in the final 2 minutes will change how you process every conversation you have for the rest of your life. They listen, if you can even call it that, while mentally preparing their next sentence. They are not present, they are rehearsing, and the person they are speaking with can feel it. When someone feels unheard, one of 2 things happens. They either shut down and give you nothing, or they grow frustrated and give you noise, emotional, defensive, useless noise. Neither serves you. The mainstream advice is to be a better listener, nod more, make eye contact, say I understand. That is not listening, that is performing listening, and people can tell the difference. The Interrogation Mirror is not about performing attention, it is about weaponizing it. Here is what weak conversationalists do. They listen, if you can even call it that, while mentally preparing their next sentence. They are not present, they are rehearsing, and the person they are speaking with can feel it. When someone feels unheard, one of 2 things happens. They either shut down and give you nothing, or they grow frustrated and give you noise, emotional, defensive, useless noise. Neither serves you. The mainstream advice is to be a better listener, nod more, make eye contact, say I understand. That is not listening, that is performing listening, and people can tell the difference. The Interrogation Mirror is not about performing attention, it is about weaponizing it. FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss spent decades extracting information from people who had every reason not to talk. Terrorists, kidnappers, people who had rehearsed their silence. His primary tool was not aggression, it was not clever questioning, it was a technique so simple it sounds almost insulting when you first hear it. He repeated the last 3 words or the most critical words of what the other person just said, then he went silent. That is it. Someone says, I just feel like nobody ever listens to me. You say, nobody ever listens. Then you say nothing. What happens next is not a coincidence, it is neuroscience. The human brain experiences an incomplete thought as a mild form of psychological discomfort, the same mechanism that makes you unable to leave a song half finished in your head. When you mirror someone's words back at them, you create an open loop inside their own mind, and their brain will compulsively try to close it. They will keep talking, they will elaborate, they will clarify, they will reveal, not because you asked them to, because their own psychology left them no choice. This is the entry-level application. Repeat the last 3 to 5 words of what someone says with a slight downward inflection, not a question, a statement. Then hold silence for at least 3 seconds. The downward inflection is critical. A rising inflection sounds like a question and puts the other person on guard. A flat or downward inflection sounds like calm, confident observation. It signals that you are not rattled. You are simply noting what they said and waiting for more. Practice this in low-stakes conversations first. A colleague mentions they are stressed about a deadline. You say, stressed about the deadline. Then you wait, watch what happens. They will fill the silence with information they had no intention of sharing, not because you asked them to. Because their own psychology left them no choice. The verbal mirror extracts information. The emotional label extracts truth. After someone speaks, name the emotion underneath what they said, not what they said, but what they felt. Prefix it with, it seems like, or it sounds like. Never, I feel like you, which triggers defensiveness. It seems like you're more frustrated about this than you're letting on. It sounds like this decision has been weighing on you for a while. When you name someone's emotion accurately, something remarkable happens. Their nervous system relaxes, the defensive wall comes down, because the deepest human need beneath food, shelter, status is to be understood. The moment you demonstrate that you understand, they will give you everything. Most people are terrified of silence. They rush to fill it, they apologize for it, They mistake it for awkwardness and destroy it with noise. This is the single most expensive conversational mistake a person can make. Silence is not empty, silence is pressure. When you go quiet after a mirror or an emotional label, you are not being passive, you are applying a force. The other person feels the weight of the unresolved conversation, and their instinct, their compulsion, is to resolve it by speaking. The rule is simple: whoever speaks first after a moment of silence loses, not loses the argument, loses the information advantage. Train yourself to be comfortable in silence for 5 seconds, then 10, then as long as it takes. The person who can sit in silence without flinching holds all the power in any room. This is the layer that separates students of psychology from operators of it. Before a difficult conversation, one where you expect resistance, defensiveness, or hostility, you name every negative thing the other person might be thinking about you, out loud before they can say it. You probably think I'm only bringing this up because it benefits me. I know this might sound like I'm trying to manipulate the situation. You might feel like I haven't been fully honest with you up to this point. This technique, the accusation audit, works because it defuses the emotional charge of an accusation before it can be weaponized. When you say the negative thing first, the other person has nothing to attack you with. The grenade has already been thrown. It has already detonated. Harmlessly, more importantly, it signals a level of self-awareness and honesty that is so rare, people instinctively trust it. You are not defending yourself. You are preemptively acknowledging their perspective. That is not weakness. That is surgical disarmament. This is the layer I almost did not include. A strategic misunderstanding means deliberately reflecting back a slightly incorrect version of what someone said and watching how they correct you. The correction is where the truth lives. When someone corrects a misunderstanding, they drop their guard completely. They are no longer managing your perception of them. They are simply trying to make you understand correctly. And in that moment of unguarded correction, they will tell you exactly what they actually think, feel, and want. Used carefully, this is one of the most powerful information extraction tools in existence. Used carelessly, it destroys trust. You have been warned. Now I need to tell you something that the channels selling you dark psychology tricks will never say. The interrogation mirror works. It works precisely and consistently, but there is a cost. When you begin using this technique habitually, you will start to notice something uncomfortable. You will begin to see conversations differently, not as exchanges, but as structures. You will hear what people are not saying as clearly as what they are. You will notice the gap between someone's words and their actual intent with an accuracy that feels almost intrusive. Some people find this liberating, others find it isolating. Because once you understand how conversations actually work, once you see the mechanics beneath the surface, it becomes very difficult to simply be present with another person without also analyzing them. That is the cost. Awareness is not always comfortable. Use this with precision, use it with purpose, and use it with the understanding that the most dangerous tool in any room is a mind that knows exactly what it is doing. Here is your assignment. In the next conversation you have today with a colleague, a friend, a family member, use only layer 1, the verbal mirror. Repeat their last 3 words, then go silent for 5 seconds. Do not explain what you are doing, do not announce it, simply do it. Then come back and tell me what happened in the comments. Because the most important thing I can tell you about the interrogation mirror is this: reading about it changes nothing. Using it once changes everything. If you want to go deeper, the next video covers the technique that makes the interrogation mirror 10 times more powerful when combined with one specific body language principle that most people use backwards. Watch it. The link is on screen now. This is cold logic. Stay sharp.